How to make a grass effect in Blender. First of all, we place the object we want to make the grass effect on the scene. I will show it on two objects. First, let me show it on plane. I click the Add button in the top left menu, select Mesh, Plane. We can enlarge this plane a little bit. We will use Blender's particle feature to add grass. We can access the particle feature from here. I click on this button. Click on the particle button and then click on the plus button on the right. When I click on this button, it will add the particle effect to the object. What we want is not emitter, but hair. When I click on the hair button, you will see the hair coming out of the object. In order to give the grass effect, we first need to increase the density of these hairs. We need to increase the number. We will do this via number. The default value is 1000. We can make it a high number, like 40,000, 50,000. We can see that it is very long. The hair length is shown here as 4 meters. Change it according to the length you want to give. If we say 0.2, it will be in a much more smaller area. The grass is also shorter. So this ratio is more suitable for what we are going to do. But they are very flat. We need to break this flat grass a little bit. Let's check Advanced under the Hair button. When we check this, an option called Physics will open at the bottom. The property we need to examine here is the Brownian property. Brownian is a property of Robert Brown, a plant scientist who advocates Brownian motion. When we increase this, as you can see, an image that goes towards a complexity rather than an order emerges. This is what we want in the grass. It shouldn't be too disorganized, of course. That's why we can give a ratio of around 0.1. Thus, it will have both an organized and disorganized structure. This gives the appearance of realistic grass. So we need to add a material to it. We need to add a green color. I'm going to the Material tab and let's add a material to this object by clicking the New button and change the base color of this material to green. Let's make it a grass color. You may not be able to see this color in the scene instantly. This is because solid mode is active here. If we switch to render preview mode on the far right, we can see the color directly. Now we create it this way. If you wish, let's do something similar with a new object. Blender's own object. Let's do it through the monkey object. Let's add it to this one. Let's move it slightly upwards. Let's add the same material to this one. We need to color this one again. And as you can see, we have given the grass effect. With a better render, of course, you can create a realistic grass effect. If it is sparse, if you think it is sparse, we need to increase the number of grasses a little bit more. Not 40,000, but for example 60,000. So we get a much more dense grass texture. When we select cycles from the render properties, we can get a much more beautiful image. I increased the light value a little bit, or we can move it a little bit closer. This is one of the ways to get grass in Blender, and the simplest one. That's it for this video. I hope it was useful. If you learned some cool new stuff from today's video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just click on the subscribe button below this video.